YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. This is JNC Jib here, and I am back with some more Blue Eyes content. Also, I would first like to shout out Pack for giving me the sample list in order to show on stream and create a video for it. I greatly appreciate it. And today we will be going over Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes is the original ultimate monster in terms of attack and defense in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, and just recently received legacy support in the form of a structure deck, which makes the deck an anticipated tier 1 threat going into the next format. So let's go over some of the new cards. The first thing that we should look at is the Primite engine, which is the engine that we've slowly been getting support. Most recently, in the latest set, Supreme Darkness, we got the main monster for the Primites that we were missing, Primite Dragon Ether Barrel, which says on normal summon, it sets a Primite spell or trap from your deck to your field, which was a big deal because cards like Lordy Load and Drill Beam were incredibly powerful, but it was really hard to get access to them because there just wasn't enough copies. Now with Barrel, we have 3 more copies of both Drill Beam and Lordy Load. And it also being a level 4 or lower dragon also gives this synergy with the Blue Eyes part of the deck being able to tutor into Spirit with Eyes of Blue. So what Primite Dragon Ether Barrel says completely is when this card is normal summon, set 1 Primite spell or trap from your deck. You can only use each of the following dragons of Primite Dragon Ether Barrel once per turn. You can tribute this card, send 1 normal monster from your deck to the graveyard. During the standby phase, if you have a normal monster on your field or in your graveyard, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. So already, one thing that we know about the Primite engine is that its recursion is amazing. You're able to constantly loop your Barrel, constantly loop your Drill Beam and Lordy Loads, and you kind of have a supplementary engine similar to Fiendsmith that has infinite recursion in a vacuum. So Primite Dragon Ether Barrel being your main starter in the deck. Next is Primite Lordy Load. We've already seen a significant buyout of this card in the Secret Rare and QCR. I believe that this card is $60 plus now. And this card says when it's activated, add 1 Primite card from your deck to your hand except for Lordy Load. So it's able to search for your Drill Beam or Barrel, and then Barrel is able to set the missing piece or vice versa. So we can already see how this engine is very consistent. And it says you can declare 1 normal monster name, special summon the declared monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard in defense position. Also, you cannot activate special summoned monsters on the field for the rest of the turn. So this is not really an issue. You do use this effect in some combos in order to get to synchros later in your turn. But it's just another great card for the archetype. And then the really broken card, which is surprising because it's a one-of, but it's not a starter, it's more of an end board piece, is Primite Drill Beam. This card is insane. It says reveal 1 Primite card or 1 normal monster in your hand except for Drill Beam, or if you control a normal monster or level 5 or higher Primite monster except for a token, you can activate this without revealing a card. Target a face-up card on the field, negate its effects, and banish it. During the main phase, if you control a Primite monster, you can set this card from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of Primite Drill Beam once per turn. So this card being a hot red dragon that also banishes a card that recurs itself every turn that you control a Primite, and Barrel being able to also recur itself every turn, just creates a very deadly loop of once per turn Omni negate / banish every turn. So it's very good. So that's kind of it for the Primite. Primites are the supplementary engine, but a lot of the times when you're playing this deck, you feel like the Primite cards are the main star of the show, and the Blue Eyes cards are really there to just back up the Primite cards. So now let's talk about the new Blue Eyes cards, starting with the first one being Maiden of White. It is a level 1 spellcaster tuner with 0 attack and 0 defense, which reads, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Then place 1 True Light from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell and trap card zone. If you special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon while this card is in the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card. When a card or effect is activated that targets this card on the field, or when this card is targeted for an attack, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon or 1 level 1 Light Tuner from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of Maiden and White once per turn. So the real value of this card is in how good True Light is, which True Light is an older card, but we can reread it for those who are not familiar with it because it's seen 0 competitive play. But it reads similar to Magician's Tablet, the one in Dark Magician, or Eternal Soul, I forgot what it's called. But it says it's a continuous trap that reads, your opponent cannot target Blue Eyes White Dragon in your monster zone with card effects. If this face-up card is sent from the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, destroy all monsters you control. You can only use each of the following effects of True Light once per turn. You can only activate one of these effects. Special summon one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or graveyard. Set one spell or trap directly from your deck that specifically mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon in its text with a different name from cards you control in your graveyard. So it being able to summon a Blue Eyes from your graveyard being an extender, or set a Blue Eyes support spell or trap from your deck is a very nice effect. And yeah, it's just a great card, but a one of. The next new card is Wishes with Eyes of Blue, and this card is broken, but similar to how MBT said in his last video, this card is just always getting ashed. This card is insane if it resolves. And it says discard one card, add one level 1 light tuner and one spell and trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand except Wishes with Eyes of Blue. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Blue Eyes White Dragon you control. Equip one Blue Eyes monster from your extra deck to it as an equip spell that gives it 400 attack. You can only use each effect once per turn. So the main value of the first effect is self-explanatory, while it's good, but the second effect kind of works with these fusion monsters. Basically, you're gonna banish it from the graveyard to equip Neo Ultimate Dragon to one of your Blue Eyes, and while it's equipped, it makes your monster untargetable, I believe. Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah. So it makes the monster untargetable or something like that. It has another effect. So let's actually just read it, because we don't care about the first effect because we're never fusion summoning it. So it says, during either player's turn, when a card effect activates that targets a Blue Eyes White Dragon you control, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Okay, so it doesn't protect from targeting while equipped, but when it falls off to the graveyard, it gives you a little bit of targeting protection by banishing it from the graveyard. And the way that you get it into the graveyard is with Tyrant Dragon. So Tyrant Dragon takes one Blue Eyes White Dragon plus one Dragon monster, and it must either be fusion summoned or special summoned from the extra deck by tributing a Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped with a fusion monster. So it was very well thought out card building when, okay, so you're gonna equip this onto a Blue Eyes White Dragon and then tribute them both in order to contact fuse with the Tyrant Dragon. And Tyrant Dragon is unaffected by trap cards. This card can attack all monsters your opponent control once. And then it says, once per turn, at the end of the damage step, if this card battled, target a spell or trap in your graveyard, set it to your spell and trap card zone. So this card is a very good tool for Blue Eyes going second in order to deal damage, OTK, and recur resources. Just a good card overall. The next card that we want to look at is Roar with Eyes of with Blue Eyes White Dragon. Roars of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and it's a special summon in defense position one Blue Eyes monster from your deck, graveyard, or banishment. But if you control no Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can only special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon with this effect. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for dragons. So this is a good card. Just basically it's just emergency teleport for Blue Eyes White Dragon. It says you can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field, including Blue Eyes White Dragon. So it's also a polymerization from the graveyard. The last of the new cards is in the main deck, excuse me. The last of the new cards in the main deck is Majesty of the White Dragons, and it says show up to 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons from your hand, face up on your field and graveyard, then destroy an equal number of cards your opponent controls. You can banish this card from your graveyard and ritual summon one ritual monster. So we don't care about the second effect. So this is basically a Icarus attack, sort of, kind of. It's like an Icarus attack a little bit. By revealing Blue Eyes from your grave, field, and hand, you destroy that amount of cards. So the more Blue Eyes vanillas you play in your deck, you're able to destroy more cards. This list we only play 2, so at max we'll be destroying 2 cards. But even destroying 1 card in the form of a searchable trap is good value. The last of the new cards is Spirit with Eyes of Blue, and this card is very important. It takes 1 level 4 or lower dragon or spellcaster monster. You cannot special summon except dragon monsters. That's a condition, so while it's on the field, you're locked into dragons. You can only use each of the following effects of Spirit with Eyes of Blue once per turn. If this card is link summoned, you can take 1 mausoleum of white and from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. You can tribute this card, special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your hand or graveyard, but if if you special summon an effect monster from your graveyard, its effects are negated, also cannot attack. So again, we're getting another link 1 that searches a powerful field spell, so let's read that field spell. Mausoleum of White is another older card. And it reads, during your main phase, you can normal summon one level 1 light one level 1 light tuner in addition to your normal summoner set. Okay. You can only gain this effect once per turn. Once per turn, you can target one face-up monster you control. Send one normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, the target gains attack and defense equal to its level times 100. Yeah. So it gives you an additional normal summon, and the Foolish is a Blue Eyes, which then combos with the Spirit, which contribute itself to summon back the Blue Eyes. So I would say all around, this is very solid support. I don't think we have to talk about the rest of the list because it's mainly just hand traps and yeah, it's just hand traps. But what do you guys think about Blue Eyes? Let me know in the comment section below. I really appreciate if you guys would like and subscribe to the channel for more amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content, and we'll see if any of the JNC members end up taking this deck to an event and doing well with it. I would love to see what you guys think in the comment section below about this deck. And with that being said, have a great day. Peace.